Alright, what you see here is a Hampton Bay Carousel ceiling fan. It's in 52 inches. This is my biggest childhood fan out of all the fans in my collection due to this one being the fan I've had since I was 4 years old. This was installed in the living room at my old apartment. And this replaced it was some sort of Casablanca Mercury knockoff. It had the same vents. It was in black and brass. I really don't remember too much about it, but I remember the switch housing was black. The blade arms were brass, and it might have had Saturn rings around it. I'm not 100% sure. But, and blades were gloss black. And my mom said she donated it to like a thrift store or something like that afterwards. Which kind of sucks, 'cause I didn't want to keep that fan. But she didn't really know, but it's whatever. But that one was really the fan. The fan that we had before this one was the one that really got me into fans. But this one's just as sentimental. So yeah, my dad installed this in the living room in 2001, and I wanted to put it in the bedroom, but I don't know why I just didn't say it. But having it in the living room, I feel like was since I was in the living room more, it became more sentimental to me since I would see it there a lot more. But yeah. And this fan was removed from the living room in 2008, replaced with the Hampton Bay Carousel 2 in polished brass. And this is the first time in 10 years that this fan's been installed. So it is bringing back a lot of memories seeing it installed again. And yeah. It's not the most powerful fan, but it is a decent air mover for a Hampton Bay fan. But yeah, this fan I've been holding on to for all these years just because it's so sentimental to me. And yeah. The pull chain that's on the fan is the original one to it for the fan pull. This one, however, is not original to this one. This one I took off of the Hampton Bay St. Clair, since that one only had one and this one was missing the other one. What I plan to do is when I get my own house, I'd like to put this in whenever I have kids in the future, I'll put this in the bedroom, or maybe I'll put it put this like in a game room or something like that. I might put it like in a little rec room of mine or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. But I'll figure out what I'll do. If it's definitely going to be installed somewhere. Even though it's not the most powerful fan, it is a fan I've always wanted to reinstall again. Just for how sentimental it is to me. But yeah. Basically everything's original except for that one pull chain. Oh, and the blade arms. Those aren't the original blade arms for it. These are the ones from the water tin. And that's because the blade arms for this one drooped down a bit, and also another issue it had was the screws for it were never hold the blades securely, even when we had it installed. So I figured I'd use these blade arms, and these blades don't bounce around so much like they were in the other ones. And also, the blades aren't drooping down so much like it was when it was installed. But, yeah, one of the blades is starting to crack, so what I might do is, some of these blades do have some scratches here and there. What I'm probably going to do is, in the future, I'll get another Hampton Bay Carousel like this one, and just swap out some of the parts on that one onto this, so I can make this one in better shape. Because yeah, some of the blades you can see it's missing some paint on the side, and that's due to it after it was removed. And some of the blades were like just tossed around and such. But yeah, still runs fine though. Yeah, I did put up for a lot when I was a kid. But yeah, my mom just didn't want to have a rainbow fan with you no more, which I can understand. It was actually not really the best spot to install it, but a lot of people didn't compliment how nice it looked, but she just wanted something that looked more proper for a living room. But I'm not sure why after we took this down we didn't move it to like a guest room or something like that. But it just never came up. Yeah. I always thought that this was the most unique looking rainbow or multicolored ceiling fan, and there's the Hampton Bay logo right there. Some of the brass has worn off of it over the years and such. Let me get on top to show the UL listing. There it is. Fan is dated January of 1999. So when I got it, it was about 2 years old already. Yeah, I remember when I saw the Hampton Bay Carousel on display. I remember seeing the Hampton Bay Minuet 2, the Satan brass, or the Satan brass one on display. It was running. Then next time I saw it, it was off, and then it was gone afterwards. And yeah, then in 2003 they discontinued this model and replaced it with the Carousel 2. But even up until like 2005, 2006, I would still see them bring down like this model down for sale every now and then. I don't know. I guess it was like some like extra ones they had that they never sold. I was surprised they didn't sell them on clearance right then and there. But yeah. So there's that. Let me go ahead and show the light. It's a two-way. It's a three-way light, not two-way. And this fan is honestly one reason, basically the main reason why I love spotlight kits, because I grew up with this one being in the living room. So I'd always play around with the spotlight kit on this fan out quite a bit. I really wish that they still made multicolored ceiling fans like this one. Nowadays you just see them with like, in the very like neon, or like the girly colorations and such. Actually, hold on. Let me turn off the light so we can test how good it lights up the room. But basically, it lights up the room pretty well. But basically, how do I say it? They're just not as colorful looking as this fan, the rainbow fans that they make nowadays. And I kind of wish they still made them like this. I think it would look pretty cool if you see them like in an arcade. I'm gonna start the fan off on no. It's also the first 52-inch fan I'm testing down here. And that's a good sign. I might be able to fit a 56-inch fan, so I might be able to test industrials, but I'm not but that's not guaranteed. I really would have to see how well it would hang. There's really some decent there on low speed. It's definitely a difference testing it on the ceiling compared to floor testing it, hence the other reason why I've stopped doing the floor testing videos. Some of the blade arms aren't aligned properly, and these are somewhat flimsy blade arms, to be honest. They are kind of easy to bend. And this one is not a 4 or 5 blade model. This one's just a 5 blade one. The funniest thing is though, there are holes in between that makes it look like they're like in this, kind of like how the originals, they have like the 4 blade configuration in the center of it more than the outside-ish area. It's something like that on this one, but there's no way they could really mount it like that because the switch housing blocks access to it. I remember the first video of a Hampton Bay Carousel that was installed like on a test mount on YouTube was the one that Fan Mower Man had, and that was the one I'd always see in the catalog after I got this one, and I always been looking for that version, still am, because that's an earlier version with the pointed tip blades, orange canopy, and the black teardrop pull chains. It had a skinnier switch housing, but also the arms on the spotlight aren't black like they are on this one. They're the exact color of the spotlight that they corresponded with. I'm sorry he doesn't have it on the fan anymore. I think he threw it out, unfortunately. And I definitely would have bought it off him had I known he was trying to get rid of it. Yeah, show off the light. But I still have the one that's special to me, which is this one. So that's really what matters more. Alright, let me go ahead and show it on medium. It's humming a tiny bit, but it's actually pretty quiet. I always knew that this fan was never really a noisy fan when we installed it. When we had it installed in the living room. But yeah, I've always remembered when I had this fan installed, it was never really hot in the living room. It is a Hampton Bay, but it always kept me cool as a kid. So there's some good air down here. If the fan moves this much air as a 52-inch fan down here, I might actually have to swap out to make it air for a 52-inch fan, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do that just because I kind of have the 42-inch one up just so I can like move stuff down from the top shelves and not hit the fan while it's running. But we'll see what happens. If I was to put up a fan down here, that's 52 inches, I'd probably do the Farmington. So it is a decent air mover, but it is a cheap fan, but it does move a decent air for what I needed to do down here. So that actually will probably be the only one I'd replace it with. And that's kind of the reason why I got it, just so I can like do it for an install like this. But I'd have to see how if it hums a lot, but to make it air has more of a basement look, so I kind of prefer to keep that one up. Alright, so yeah, back to this fan. Yeah, it's moving decent air medium. Now to show it the light. Anytime I see this fan on, I'd always like picture like seeing this fan installed where the air masses are at that arcade. And the can arms. I'm not sure on high. Like I had like a picture, I like try to picture 5 having the big carousel cells installed there, or like at a Chuck E. Cheese and something like that. Moving some good air, honestly, on high speed. So it's not as much as the Hunter, obviously, or a Casablanca, or anything like showroom quality. But for a fan that you could buy at a home center, it's really not a bad air mover. It's not the most powerful fan, obviously, but it'll definitely keep you cool if you just need something to cool you down over at nighttime, something like that. Would I prefer something better? Definitely, but yeah, I honestly think about like if I get like a man cave, I always keep saying to myself I'd probably like put up like like the High Line or something like that, or the what is it, the neon Hampton Bay Cameron, the chrome one. But honestly, I feel like this will give like such a retro look to it just because of the rainbow coloration to it. And I kind of like want to have like a arcade / 90s look to it. So I feel like I'm probably going to do this one, to be honest. It'll be kind of more fitting because it is the exact childhood fan from my childhood. So I think it'll be a perfect fan for it, that spot. Yeah, I'd use this fan a lot as a kid. Yeah, definitely not a bad air mover for Hampton Bay. I always did feel these were one of their better models, the earlier, their first generation of the Hampton Bay Carousel, before they made a second one. I'd honestly even have this installed in my bedroom. Like, this would be actually a good enough fan for me to sleep with off at nighttime. But honestly, I'm not going to swap out the Panama for this. Oh yeah, this fan for me is good enough to have installed for like a, not a, for like a bedroom. That's just I just prefer a fan that's more powerful. But if I had to like sweep with this in a bedroom, I'd be okay with it. In fact, that's what I originally wanted it for. But I'd rather have this like in the game room. I think that's where it'll look cooler. And I know this video is going to be a bit long, just because I did talk quite a bit in the beginning, but that is kind of to be expected when I talk about a fan as sentimental as this one. Now for spin down, I put it on the reverse setting. Spin down is probably going to be a little bit long on this. I'm not too sure. I haven't tested this. Well, I tested it earlier this year, but I already forgot how long the spin down was on it. Now I was saying to myself, if I was going to install a fan in my kid's bedroom, it'd either be this or the Hunter Discovery. Still not sure, but I kind of, now that I'm looking at it, if I do like have like a man cave or like some rec room, game room, something like that, I'd probably install this. And probably have the Discovery for their room. Could I put something cooler in the rec room, game room? Yes. But this just has such a game room look to it, I feel like this would actually be a perfect fan for that spot. Plus, it's actually something I've always wanted to do with it. After I took it down, I've always been saying to myself, whenever we move out of that apartment and get a house, I'd love to put this in the game room. And I'm actually thinking that it would be better to put it in a game room instead of a kid's bedroom. I figure it would be in better shape if I have it in the game room. Plus, I figure if it is in the game room, it would get quite a bit of attention from whoever goes in there. So it would be that would be a good thing about having this there. But yeah, actually, speaking of which, my cousin actually did have one of these fans in his bedroom. The one that has that Hampton Bay landmark 42-inch one. Same house with the Hampton Bay Rockport. I've been in quite a few years, but I do see him a few times a year. And he had one that was probably a little bit older than this one. It had the yellow canopy. The pull chains weren't like this. It was the black teardrop ones, and the white kits were spotlights were in different order. The green and the other ones were actually next to each other. The green and blue one were across from each other, and the red and red ones were across from each other on it. And that one actually started to, I think something happened. I don't know what it was, but I think maybe it was capacitor blew up. But I remember that it was smoking. It would I remember when I checked to see what was wrong with it when I was a kid. It would make the humming sounds if it was trying to turn on, but it wouldn't spin. But then they told later on it was smoking, so they had to replace it, obviously. So yeah, so that's when they got the Landmark 3 replacement. And here's low speed on reverse. Yeah, I definitely do need to do remakes of those fans at some point. If they're still there, I'm not sure what they've done with them since. So I'm making quick on reverse since the video is a bit longer than I intended to make it. Put it back to medium. I don't know what it is, but every time I look directly at this fan with the spotlights on, it never really like blinded me to the point that I couldn't see the fan as much. I think it might just be because it's so many different colors. That could be the reason why. And when being blinded, I mean like I could see the lights are kind of like glaring so much that you can't really see the fan motor and such as much. But with this fan, that really wasn't that much of an issue. Alright, show it the light. Alright, shut it off. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.